Doctor Who, the 2005 iteration, not the 1963 iteration, is starting its 14th season next month as of writing, which is a lot of seasons if you want to watch them all. Fortunately, Doctor Who breaks up into manageable chunks with their own beginnings and endings, meaning that you may not need to watch the whole show to get a complete story. But where do you stop, and where do you start? Aside from seasons, Doctor Who has three main factors that we can use as a foundation for our search: the showrunner, the actor playing the titular Doctor, and the Doctor's companions. The showrunner is the person running the show, dictating the overarching plots and character arcs during their tenure. Generally, the end of a showrunner's tenure is a good place to stop, due to them wrapping up all of their plots and arcs, while the beginning of a showrunner's tenure is a good place to start, due to them beginning new plots and arcs. The Doctor is an interesting character, as instead of dying like a normal person, they regenerate into a new body with a slightly different personality. This regeneration is marked by a change in actor, and the corresponding personality change tends to make each regeneration feel like their own distinct thing, making for good jumping on and off points. Finally, the companions are the secondary protagonists of the show, alongside the Doctor. They tend to change every couple of seasons, so while a new companion doesn't necessarily make a good starting or ending point, it might feel weird to start in the middle of a companion's run. Oh yeah, while I'm not going to be discussing major spoilers, some things will come up by necessity, like when each Doctor regenerates. If I don't, this whole video will just be sources, dude, trust me. With that out of the way, let's start at the beginning. Season 1's showrunner is Russell T Davies, starring Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor and Billie Piper as his companion Rose Tyler. Season 1 is naturally a good place to start. It is arguably the best place to start, as you won't be missing out on anything. It's not exactly the best place to end, though. The Season 1 finale ends with Christopher Eccleston's regeneration to David Tennant's 10th Doctor, which is treated as a big twist in universe and continues directly into Season 1's Christmas special. Oh yeah, every season ends with a Christmas special, and sometimes there are multiple specials between seasons. But anyways, even though we have a new Doctor, both Rose and Davies are still here, and all of the arcs and plot threads continue directly into Season 2. Rose leaves at the end of Season 2 to be replaced by Freema Agyeman's Martha Jones in Season 3. She would be replaced by Catherine Tate's Donna Noble in Season 4, returning from a guest star role in Season 2's Christmas special. It's stuff like this that really makes things feel like one long story. Season 4 was Davies' last season as showrunner and Tennant's last as the Doctor, and the Season 4 finale, Journey's End, is a much better ending point than any of the preceding finales, seeing the conclusion of a plethora of plot points and the departure of Donna. Davies and Tennant still have a few specials left in them, though, all taking place after Season 4. These conclude with the End of Time, bringing back another iconic villain and concluding the Doctor's story arc. This special is easily the best ending point so far, wrapping up Davies' run on Doctor Who nicely with an immensely satisfying ending. Both Davies and Tennant leave with this special, which is how you know their era is over and you can stop if you wish. Season 5 picks up with a new cast and showrunner. Stephen Moffat runs the show, while Matt Smith plays the 11th Doctor, joined by Karen Gillan's Amy Pond and Arthur Darvill's Rory Williams as companions. This makes Season 5 a great starting point for the show. Sure, there are some plot threads that got reintroduced from Davies' run, but they are explained well enough that you could easily start here. Amy and Rory stick around for Seasons 5, 6, and the first half of 7, where they are swapped out for Jenna Coleman's Clara Oswald, introduced earlier that season. The Doctor characters' arc and plot threads continue to the Season 7 specials, though, so you shouldn't stop when Amy and Rory leave. Instead, the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, taking place between the Season 7 finale and the Season 7 Christmas special, is my ideal ending point for the series. The 10th Doctor and Rose return due to shenanigans, and the lingering threads of the Time War that were introduced in Season 1 are finally resolved. It's also really good. If you just started with Season 5, though, you may also be interested in finishing with the Season 7 Christmas special, which is just focused on wrapping up threads from Smith's era. I don't like this episode, but it does finally resolve Season 5's main questions. With that, Season 8 brings in Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, although both Moffat and Clara stick around. Like the 9th-10th transition, the presence of Clara means that Season 8 is not an ideal starting point, especially since much of her relationship with the Doctor is based on Season 7. This is the status quo for Seasons 8 and 9, ending with the Season 9 finale Hellbent, which is an okay finale. The same goes for the Season 9 Christmas special Husbands of Riversong. While the 12th Doctor story isn't done, they are definitely endings. After another special, Season 10 introduces Pearl Mackey's Bill Potts to replace Clara, although she would stick around only for this season. Instead, Moffat and Capaldi's time on the show ends with the Season 10 Christmas special, Twice Upon a Time, which is a nice reflection on the series and my next preferred endpoint after the 50th special. Season 11 brings us a new showrunner, Chris Chibnall, and the 13th Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker. She is joined by three companions this time: Tazan Cole's Ryan, Mandip Gill's Yasmin, and Bradley Walsh's Graham. This season has almost no references to the Doctor's past adventures until the Christmas special, now New Year's special, making it an ideal starting point for new fans. Or at least that's what I would say if the entire season and the next didn't completely suck. However, I have not been able to watch seasons 11 and 12 with fresh eyes, given that I've already seen the rest of Doctor Who, so maybe these seasons will actually be good if they are your first. They were definitely intended to be people's first, so I would say they still count as a potential starting point. Season 11, that is. Season 12 continues 11's overarching plots and arcs. Season 13 sees Graham and Ryan leave, leaving only Yasmin, which is the status quo until the Doctor regenerates in the Season 13 New Year special, The Power of the Doctor. This episode ends with a nice companion reunion, wrapping up a very long-running thread of what happens to the Doctor's companions after they leave. And it's also the end of Chibnall's run. This is the ideal ending point for people who started with Season 11, and isn't a bad ending if you started earlier, either. However, if you started with Season 1, you may as well watch the 360th anniversary specials, which see the return of Russell T Davies as showrunner, the return of David Tennant as the 14th Doctor, and the return of Catherine Tate's Donna Noble. Continuing the trend of revisiting old companions, the last special, The Giggle, is also a good ending point for those who started at the beginning. Being a 60th special, though, it's not a good starting point. And that brings us pretty much to the present. The 14th Doctor regenerates into Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor at the end of The Giggle, and Donna leaves in favor of a new companion, Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday, who was introduced in that year's Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road. Given that Davies has once again talked about the upcoming Season 14 as being a fresh slate, The Church on Ruby Road may not be a bad place to start watching either. Only time will tell, but if you want to start watching the new stuff, I think this could be a pretty good jumping on point. And that's all of Doctor Who so far, broken down into what I think are the ideal starting and stopping points. For the record, you don't have to stop at a stopping point, I'm still watching the show after all, but I know a lot of people don't want to watch 14 seasons of television, so there are places to take breaks if nothing else. With all that said, enjoy your Doctor Who journey, and thanks for watching.